So we have some breaking news that Donald Trump, when he was a high school student, a young man, cheated on the SAT. He basically got someone to write the SAT for him and use that person's score to get into his prestigious university, a university that he was never, on his own intellect and effort, qualified to be in. And this is according to Mary L. Trump, Donald Trump's estranged niece, who's writing a tell-all book about Donald Trump that Donald Trump and his associates are trying to silence right now in the courts. The book is called Too Much and Never Enough: How My Family Created the World's Most Dangerous Man. And it's all about how Donald Trump became the man he is today. How his narcissism and his hateful ideas and his hateful worldview and all of the things that make Donald Trump the awful person he is are rooted in this lifelong experience that took him to this point. And it has all these sorts of things, apparently, that shine a negative light on Donald Trump. But I want to focus in on the SAT question because it strikes at the core of this myth of meritocracy that the American elite want the regular folks to believe. Now, this is from a New York Times reading of the book. They're summarizing what Mary Trump said with regard to Donald Trump cheating on his SAT, but I'm going to read it out to you. It says here, cheating on a college entrance test. As a high school student in Queens, Ms. Trump writes, Donald Trump paid someone to take a precollegiate test, the SAT, on his behalf. The high score the proxy earned for him, Ms. Trump adds, helped the young Mr. Trump to later gain admittance as an undergraduate to the University of Pennsylvania's prestigious Wharton Business School. Basically, Donald Trump, already a child of immense social and political and cultural and economic privilege. He was not a regular working or middle-class child growing up. This is the man that once said he only got $1 million loan, to start up his businesses. Couldn't even parlay that advantage, all those advantages, into a successful high school and SAT career, and so got someone else to write it for him so he could get into a very prestigious university, which helped set him up for the rest of his life, as it often does for the children of the rich and wealthy and well-connected. And again, this matters. It really does, because while you might say, geez, this is 50 years ago, more than 50 years ago that this happened, why does it matter today? And it matters because, one, this man is president, and the president cheating on the SAT is a big deal, but it matters again because rich people like Donald Trump, who defend inequality, who revel in inequality, who defend the fact that some people have so much money while hundreds of millions struggle to get by, these people want you to think that it's all okay, that system is okay because the people earned it. Because the people who are poor earned their poverty through bad choices and bad morals and bad genetics, and the people who had success earned it through good choices and good morals and good genetics and redistribution and all of these programs designed to help the disadvantaged or to curtail the power and wealth of the rich are simply going against the game as it should be played. The game is fair. If you are rich, you deserve it. If you're poor, you deserve it. And so that meritocratic myth drives inequality. It drives injustice, not just on class terms, but also on racial and cultural terms. It's often an argument that people make. Why are Black Americans poor? It's not because of any systemic disadvantages or discrimination. It's because as a community, they're just not as good of people as white Americans are. That's the argument people will make to justify inequality between classes, cultures, and races. They'll do it all the time. They still do it to this day. And people do it on the Democratic Party side and on the Republican Party side. But Republicans in particular love this myth of meritocracy, that America is based on equality of opportunity for all. From the richest man to the poorest man, everyone has the same shot at success. And if you fail, it's on you. And if you succeed, it's on you. But what Trump has shown time and time and time again is that that's not actually accurate. that Donald Trump is an example of a below average intellect and a person with substandard morals continuing to fail upwards in the business world and eventually in the political world because of his name and because of the baked-in advantages he had literally from his first day of life. That's what this is about. And when you see people like him basically cheat on the SAT, what it's showing is that even despite all these advantages, they still need to cheat a game that's rigged in their favor. The SAT, the whole college admittance system, is already rigged in favor of the rich and wealthy and well-connected. And so when they have to cheat on a system that's already cheating for them, it shows you just how woefully underqualified and undeserving some of these people are to get the positions they get. And that's what Donald Trump is. And it matters a lot in this current moment because there's been recent scandals of very wealthy people, very well-connected people, wanting their sons and daughters to go to the best universities, even if they didn't have the grades or the extracurriculars or the SAT scores to justify their admittance. So what did these parents do? They basically created fake athletic profiles. They basically allowed people to write SATs for their children. They basically got their children special SAT exemptions that they weren't entitled to. Anything, anywhere, anyhow, for no matter how much money it costs, now they could do, they did, to give their children who already had fundamental advantages even greater fundamental advantages. And Donald Trump has often railed, him and his administration and conservatives, the right, have often railed time and time again against quote-unquote affirmative action that takes positions and jobs and opportunities away from white men and gives it to the undeserving, quote-unquote. But the honest fact of the matter is that if anyone was benefiting from any sort of affirmative action that's actually warping opportunities, it's people like Trump. People who can afford all the best prep, people that can afford the best schools, people that have access in some cases to legacy systems, people who can indeed get other folks to write the SAT, write their college entrance essays for them, and potentially pay top dollar in the process. So the next time you hear Donald Trump brag about how he's the smartest guy in the room or how he could have been a surgeon, obviously we knew that was ridiculous, but bring up this fact. And the next time Donald Trump, any Republican, or indeed any wealthy person tells you that the system is fair because the people with success deserve it, remember that the game is rigged in their favor, and when they lose, all they'll do is rig it even harder.